All right, in AFL, almost full time, and the match is being played this afternoon. And the match of the day, St Kilda has been leading Carlton for most of the game. Let's check the score, and there it is, the Blues making a real big comeback, 92-70. At Princeton
have been going through their paces in quest of a pot of gold known far and wide as the Stawell gift. Now for an update on the elimination action, let's rejoin Stephen Phillips.
Thank you very much, Max. They're the fastest men on the track, and the bookies aren't all that far behind them either. When they see that a bloke scratched 9 times from 10 meetings, they become a bit wary. Steve Tilburn did that. He was very unlucky last year, and they had him pencilled in at 4-1 second favourite. Let's go to the 32nd heat. Tilburn in the yellow.
Get on your mark!
Steve Tilburn, I should say, in the yellow, and Preddle in the green. Tilburn is one of the favourites. A 4-1 pre-post price was bet. He's one of the runners that they do anticipate to be in the final. Steve Tilburn in the yellow. And away they go. Armstrong out quickly from Verrill, Daffy, Preddle. Tilburn is going quickly with Callaway and Clark. Mackenzie is there on the far side of the track. Armstrong and Verrill in front, but now Tilburn, goes through with consummate ease. And Steve Tilburn takes out heat 32.
Well, that looked like a Sunday jog, Michael, and he only just got there.
Yes, I agree with you there, Chris. He looked very relaxed, very loose, unperturbed about anything. He just bounced off the blocks. No real effort there. He's just straight into stride, and it just seemed to be out there for a Sunday stroll.
Easter Saturday, and we've had plenty of excitement here as we look now to heat 37 and a really exciting prospect out of Western Australia, Dean Capobianco. He's on 2 1/4 metres in the red, O'Brien on 5 1/4 in white, Evans on 6 3/4 in blue, as is Brown in yellow, 7 1/4 Sargent in green, McGrath 7 3/4 pink, Seymour on 9 metres the black, and Parks will take them out just for a couple of strides, I would think, in the grey on 10 metres. So Capobianco, that man is Seymour from the ACT in the black. The pink is McGrath, the green is Sargent, the yellow Brown, the blue Evans, the white is O'Brien, and the red is the young man, 19 years of age, out of the West. He was recorded unofficially going 10-1 in the West Australian titles, where he won 3 titles. Parks went out very quickly with Seymour. McGrath is going very smartly. Sargent didn't begin well. Going through is Evans from Brown. Here's Capobianco now, though. Oh, look at this young man. Giant strides and wins easily. Capobianco from Sargent. Third home was O'Brien. Unofficial time, 12:29.
What a top run from the back mark, 12:29. He treated them with contempt. He blitzed them from the blocks, caught Dallas O'Brien in the first 15 or 20 metres and was really getting into this race. He's got the field covered halfway down and has just gone like a shot out of a gun the last 50, Chris Perry, and won in a magnificent fashion.
Well, Rob Ballard, a study in concentration. He knows he's got a man with several question marks next to his name, Todd Ireland in the green shirt, to give a start 2 of 7 1/4 metres. And hopefully a beating. Ready? Ireland came out fairly quickly, away smartly. Hanna and Emerson, Cara, Paini, Ballard still giving them a start, but Ireland's in front. He looks the goods. He's going through to win easily. Getting through for second, Paini, and Ballard finished third. And look at the time, unofficial, 12:07.
Well, that's going to give the connections of Tim Mason's a bit of an unsettling night. You can see Ireland got away quickly from Steve Emerson, who's a very quick beginner. And once he's in front, he's using his handicap very, very well and is running strongly to the tape. You know, there's five metres between him and Paini from Western Australia, and Rob Ballard just can't get in the picture. But very, very impressive. I think it's going to be a dogfight between Mason and Todd Ireland.
We're going to be in for some great man-on-man duels in the semi-finals on Monday.
And Todd Ireland just having a look around in the replay there, just having a look to see where everyone is, Rob. He's done it pretty easily.
Well, Todd Ireland's with me. Todd, I suppose that certainly beats grooming horses for a Saturday.
Yeah, well, I gave it the work a rest for a while just to concentrate on Stawell and Bendigo. Put them in Bendigo, but I've improved since then, so hopefully I can give us a shake.
Well, you drew a tough one. He had a fair handicap, of course, Robert Ballard, but 12:07. You must be extremely happy with that, and I know your camp are fairly happy as well.
Yeah, well, I thought I could run that, so it's up to what I've been doing, sort of thing. So I think I got a bit more there anyway.
A few people will be wondering if there is a bit more there. Earlier in the day, we saw Tim Mason produce the run of the day, 12.04. He had a little tailwind. He may have pulled up a little bit at the end, but it was enough to make the bookmakers establish him as 5-1 on favourite for Monday's final. That was until the 39th heat, and we just saw Todd Ireland alter all that. He ran 12.07, so it's going to be a two-man war. It'll be very interesting to see what happens on Monday. At the moment, Mason 2-1 on, and we're looking at 6-4 on for Ireland. 2-1 McConnon and 3-1 Tilburn. It's been a terrific day. All 39 winners today move on to Monday's semi-finals, and we'll be back here at Central Park Stall at 3:30 on Monday afternoon for the 6 semis, and of course the running at about 3:45 of Australia's oldest and most prestigious professional foot running race, the Stall Easter Gift. Ken, it promises to be a great afternoon of viewing, and you'll see it exclusively here on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, good on you, Steve, and well done, Ray Warren. Nice calling there. We'll be back after the break with more ice skating magic from Moscow.
It's Saturday night, I waited so long. Let the night roll on. Let the night roll on.
Who can give you an incredible deal on used cars and a 3-year warranty?
Saw the running of the $1.3 million AJC Derby and the $1 million Doncaster Handicap. The first time 2 races worth $1 million have been staged on the one afternoon at Randwick. But we begin with race 2, the Keith Mackay Stakes. The track was dead and the favourite Lady Madonna at 13-8.
And they're followed by Rhythmic Charmers in behind those, and they're followed after a gap then by Twagila, who's well back with Euphonic, and along the inside rail coming home fairly as Poetic Vale. They make the turn into the straight now. The leaders are starting to bunch a bit, and Camila headed up in front. Quiet Queen is coming at it on the outside, and Lady Madonna's making a big strong run down the outside in company with Rhythmic Charm, and Rhythmic Charm got the saloon passage and booted away from Lady Madonna, and it's Rhythmic Charm nicely clear now, showing from Lady Madonna, who's finishing well, and coming home nicely is Poetic Vale along the inside, but Rhythmic Charm's in front of Lady Madonna and Poetic Vale, and Rhythmic Charm races home to win it. Lady Madonna's second.
So a good start to the carnival for Mick Dittman and Tommy Smith with Rhythmic Charm at 3-1. The favourite Lady Madonna second at 13-8, followed by Poetic Vale at 12-1. Now to the big one, the $1.3 million AJC Derby.
Well, they're followed by Dr. Grace, and Zarbeal is taken out wide to have a crack at them, but Stylish Century leads about 4 lengths over the rise. Castletown making a little bit of impression now. Dr. Grace is coming out to have a crack at Stylish Century down to the 200, and Stylish Century taken on by Dr. Grace, who's getting into Stylish Century's ground. The rider pulls the whip on Stylish Century. Dr. Grace is upsides with it now to hit the lead, and Dr. Grace is going to win the Derby running away. Dr. Grace has beaten Stylish Century. Solar Circle third.
A great finish by Jim Cassidy on number 3, Dr. Grace, and that win takes Dr. Grace's prize money over the $1 million mark. Stylish Century second at 6-1, and the favourite, number 4, Solar Circle at 7-2. Now to race 5, the Adrian Knox Stakes.
But Sovereign Heights has pulled away from Sinead over the rise. New Paraders coming at them with a big finishing burst, and down the outside, Jewel Treasures is coming with a big finishing run too, and hanging on nicely on the inside of them there too is Shiley, but Jewel Treasure shot away with about 100 to go. Look to have them stitched in the run of the line, finishing nicely Hysterical, but Jewel Treasure's holding Hysterical at bay, and Jewel Treasure's races home to beat Hysterical. Aretha behind those.
Number 6, Jewel Treasures, the favourite at 2-1, ahead of Hysterical, 11-2, and Aretha third at 8-1. Finally, race 6, the $1 million Doncaster Handicap.
Avenue third, and then Spot the Rock and Comrade, who made the bend very wide, followed on the fence by Groucho, and then Our Krona, followed by Happy Sailing, Our Poverty Bay as they top the rise, where Shaftesbury Avenue shot clear. Look at Our Grey Invader. Our Grey Invader coming from near last has run into second place, is coming after Shaftesbury Avenue, and Superimpose is jumping out of the ground. Superimpose is rapidly overhauling Shaftesbury Avenue. Shaftesbury Avenue still in front. Superimpose wide out, lunged and got up to win the Doncaster.
And that win by Superimpose follows a second placing in last year's Melbourne Cup. Bart Cummings, Shaftesbury Avenue second at 7-1, and an impressive third by New Zealand horse Our Grey Invader at 25-1. Well, a barrage of short...
Carnival continued this afternoon at Randwick with the running of 2 more $1 million events, the AJC Derby and the Doncaster Handicap. In the Derby, outstanding frontrunner Stylish Century drifted in the betting, and by the time the race started, the Bart Cummings trained Solar Circle was the punter's pick. Here are the closing stages of the race.
To the 200 mark, Stylish Century, the leader. Here's the danger. Dr. Grace on the outside, going after Stylish Century. Stylish Century still in front. Dr. Grace, inch by inch, is wearing him down. Dr. Grace grabs the lead from Stylish Century. Jimmy Cassidy goes for home, and Dr. Grace comes away to win the Derby. Dr. Grace beats Stylish Century, third Solar Circle.
Stylish Century, who dominated the race from the start, just couldn't hang on, and Dr. Grace gave Dr. Jeff Chapman his second Derby. In the Doncaster, Stargazer was the favourite.
Our Grey Invader, coming from near last, has run into second place, is coming after Shaftesbury Avenue, and Superimpose is jumping out of the ground. Superimpose is rapidly overhauling Shaftesbury Avenue. Shaftesbury Avenue still in front. Superimpose wide out, lunged and got up to win the Doncaster. He's come from near last. Superimpose beat Shaftesbury Avenue. Third, Our Grey Invader.
So Superimpose, considered a duffer on wet tracks, flashed home to cause a boil-over, and you'd be celebrating if you had that trifecta. The local racing action was at Caulfield this afternoon, with the big race being the Victoria Handicap over 1,400 metres. Pressman's Choice, looking for his third successive win, was sent out at 9-2. This is how Brian Martin saw the finish.
Black Blaze running out of room on the fence and above deck further out from Prince Aluminium. And here's Isle starting to sprint down the outside. Calgaran Town in front. Grabbed by Rare Chance. Prince Aluminium and Isle out in the middle. Prince Aluminium swept to the front now, and Prince Aluminium's drawing away. Prince Aluminium's going to win the Victoria Handicap about 2 lengths. Rare Chance second, and Pressman's Choice got up to run third.
Yes, Prince Aluminium giving jockey Brian Werner a double after getting up by 2 lengths from Rare Chance in a time of 1:25.4. To the multiple forms of betting, and the extra double on 6 and 1 paid $34.70. The daily double returned $238 for 15 and 18. For picking 1, 4, 9 and 1 in the quadrella, you'd have collected $902 even, and the quad extra paid a handy $5,522 even on 15, 10, 18 and 7. Todd Ireland, who yesterday was backed from 14-1 to 2-1 to win Monday's stall gift, is even shorter in the market after today's heats. Ireland was impressive in winning Heat 39, but shading him for favouritism is Tim Mason, who ran the day's fastest time in Heat 26.
O'Connell came out quickly, not as smartly as Hargrave, Nankervis, Sampson, Giannoni, but look at Mason. Mason's taking big strides. Oh, he's making it look ever so easy. And he wins easy. Down. What an impressive win by Mason.
He's the one they're going to back hot on. 5-4 on is what his price is for Monday. The ones he's going to have to watch in the last heat, of course, was Todd Ireland, who blitzed them with a 12.07.
But Ireland's in front. He looks the goods. He's going through to win easily.
And also in heat number 5 at 12.23, Kerry McConnon.
But McConnon's in front of Foreman, and McConnon goes on to beat Foreman.
And that's it from me and the sports team for Easter Saturday.
Thank you, Dixie. And after the are the Easter holidays going to remain?
It was at Caulfield, where 5 favourites got up. Prince Aluminium was not one of them, but stormed home to win the feature race, the Victoria Handicap. Now the results in full, and punters off to a good start in the first. The 5-2 favourite Burberry, the winner from Rose of Demas and High Glow. In the Kingswood Welter, a good win first up from a spell for I Wish, from 4-1 equal favourite Nija. It was 2 wins on the trot for Superstructure, Darren Gauchi aboard in the Orrong Handicap Race 3. Now to Race 4, the Avon, Clem Dimsey a caller.
Swept to the lead. Bally Breeze in third place, followed by Double Phoenix and Lambourne Starlight. 100 metres left to go, and Gameen's getting away from Sister Canny. Gameen drew 2 lengths clear, and the favourite's going to win easily. Gameen by 2 lengths, Sister Canny. Third, Castanets, and then...
The favourite Gameen paid 105 and 65 and is set for a Guineas run in Adelaide next week. Next up, Race 5, the Victoria Handicap.
With a barnstorming run, and now Pressman's Choice in the clear, 150 metres left to go. Prince Aluminium grabbed the lead. Isle can't go on. Rare Chance battling back, but it's Prince Aluminium's Victoria Handicap. Wins 2 lengths, Rare Chance. Third, Pressman's Choice.
Prince Aluminium at 16-1 paid a handy 9.15 for the win. The favourite Pressman's Choice left his run a bit late. The Neeram Handicap was Race 6.
Drumming starting to storm down the outside with 150 metres left to go. It's Red Chase getting clear now. Drumming is finishing solidly, but it's going to be too late. And Red Chase is drawing clear, wins by 2.5 lengths. Tight for second and third. Cash Trust got second, Drumming third.
Red Chase is a full brother to Caulfield Cup winner Affinity, getting up at 7-2. Now to Race 7.
Anonym Girl in the centre and Zimno Fear down the outside at the 200-metre mark. Slightly Grey on the inside, finding plenty. Zimno Fear trying hard on the outside, and John Zemmer coming home late. Slightly Grey drifting off the track. John Zemmer flying through on the inside, and John Zemmer got up to win. John Zemmer from Zimno Fear and Slightly Grey. And
John Zemmer at 20 to 1 paid 19.10 and 4.70 from Slightly Grey and Zimno Fear. And in the final race, the favourite mainly got up from Prince Redeemus and Kings Around. The daily double for Prince Ormenium and John Zemmer paid $238 even. The extra double for 6 and 1 paid $34.70. The quadrella for 1, 4, 9 and 1 paid $902, and the quad extra for 15, 10, 18 and 7 paid just over $5,500. To racing up north, and the blue-ribboned AJC Derby was the first of 2 $1 million events on the Randwick program in Sydney. Consistent weight-for-age performer Dr. Grace proved too good in the Derby.
After 2 days of sunshine, the rain and humid overcast conditions returned to Sydney, and with a track listed as dead, it all added up to something of a headache for punters. They finally stuck with Solar Circle, and he started favourite at 7 to 2. From the start, Stylish Century set the pace, and into the straight appeared to be running on strongly.
Into the straight, Stylish Century well clear coming over the rise, led by 4 lengths on Castletown. Dr. Grace running on gamely, and then Zabeel and Solar Circle to the 200 mark. Stylish Century the leader. Here's the danger. Dr. Grace on the outside going after Stylish Century. Stylish Century still in front. Dr. Grace inch by inch is wearing him down. Dr. Grace grabs the lead from Stylish Century. Jimmy Cassidy goes for home, and Dr. Grace comes away to win the Derby.
Dr. Grace had already earned $446,000 in his previous 14 starts, with first prize in today's Derby worth $884,000. The colt had become a $1 million stakes winner. For trainer Dr. Jeff Chapman, it was simply the conclusion of a long-range plan.
Yeah, I've been lucky. He's had no problems, no interference with his preparation, and he's a very good horse too.
The Doncaster Handicap was a second $1 million event on the Randwick program, and with consistent rain beginning 1 hour before the starting time, again punters scratched their heads before sending Stargazer out as favourite at 13 to 2.
As they top the rise, where Shaftesbury Avenue shot clear. Look at Our Grey Invader. Our Grey Invader coming from near last has run into second place, is coming after Shaftesbury Avenue, and Superimpose is jumping out of the ground. Superimpose is rapidly overhauling Shaftesbury Avenue. Shaftesbury Avenue still in front. Superimpose wide out, lunged and got up to win the Doncaster.
Punters were left lamenting after discarding Superimpose because of his notorious dislike of wet tracks, plus his big weight and wide barrier. But trainer Lee Friedman had felt all along the horse was so fit he was ready to produce the race of his long career.
I said to Bruce when I put him on, I said, get right out to where the ground hasn't been touched. You might just fluke getting a run out there, and the ground may be better. And it's worked out that way.
In Victoria, Dr. Grace paid $240 and $90, and the trifecta $85.80. And local dividends for the Doncaster, Superimpose paid $825 and $265. The trifecta paying upwards of $6,800. Australia's best...
To its reputation as the most significant three-year-old classic in Australia, when the best 5 colts in the country fought out the finish of yesterday's race at Randwick. The $1.3 million Derby was won by Dr. Grace. He's superbly bred, being by Sir Tristram out of English Wonder. Well, the Doctor cost $180,000 as a yearling. Not bad value, considering he's won more than $1.25 million, with a lot more to come.
This Derby was a true test for the stayers. With Stylish Century being taken on by the outsider Plum Jam in the early stages, the race was run at a very fast bat. Dr. Grace was always handy, but giving Stylish Century a big start before the home turn.
They're spread out over plenty of territory in the run to the top turn, and Stylish Century is setting a fearsome pace in front. Led by 2.5 on Plum Jam and 4 to Castletown, 2 to Dr. Grace, who's had a good run. Then Fill the Bill, followed by Zabeel. Classic Chickers 3 wide around that turn, a gap to Solar Circle under some pressure this far from home, and then Submariner followed by Ice Martini, Tyburn Tree dropping out of it, and then Sensory Rain. Interstellar will have to do a terrific job to win from there, and Star Kayaru back at the tail as they come to the 600 metres mark, and Stylish Century is a mile in front. Stylish Century by 3 lengths on Plum Jam, 2.5 to Castletown, who's starting to plug on doggedly, and then Dr. Grace and Zabeel. Fill the Bill under pressure, so is Solar Circle. Well back Submariner, Classic Chickers second, then Ice Martini and Century Rain. Interstellar can't win. Into the straight, Stylish Century well clear coming over the rise, led by 4 lengths on Castletown. Dr. Grace running on Gamely, and then Zabeel and Solar Circle to the 200 mark. Stylish Century the leader. Here's the danger. Dr. Grace on the outside going after Stylish Century. Stylish Century still in front. Dr. Grace inch by inch is wearing him down. Dr. Grace grabs the lead from Stylish Century. Jimmy Cassidy goes for home, and Dr. Grace comes away to win the Derby. Dr. Grace beats Stylish Century, third Solar Circle.
It's interesting that the best 5 colts finished first, second, third, fourth and fifth, and it was a second victory for Dr. Grace's trainer, Dr. Jeff Chapman. He was non-committal about whether the 3-year-old would start in the Sydney Cup.
Well, I think probably I'll have to have a talk to connections and what have you. We'll just see how it goes. But he may not. I mean, he's still a little bit immature probably, but then again he may not be. I'm just not too sure.
Stylish Century was game in defeat, and his trainer Bill Mitchell was obviously disappointed after the race.
We really needed a slightly better track. Probably would have helped us, but, I'm not taking anything away from the winner, and I'm very proud of my horse.
For Dr. Grace's jockey Jim Cassidy, it was his first victory in the AJC Derby.
I always knew the race was going to be run at an even clip, and that's the way you like the mile and a half to be run, and it was always going to be hard to catch. I was pleased it was run on a track the way the track was today, not rock hard. He might have been a bit harder to catch, but I knew if I was in within 5 lengths of him, I was going to be hard to beat because I knew I could pick him up in the ground.
Jimmy Cassidy, and whilst we're not certain if Dr. Grace will run in next week's Sydney Cup, he looks a leading contender for the Cox Plate next spring. One horse he may have to beat in that race is Superimpose. This horse was second in last year's Melbourne Cup, and in yesterday's Doncaster, he produced a finish reminiscent of the great Galilee when he came from last on the turn.
Whilst the Derby takes precedent over the Doncaster as the race of the day, the performance of the day came from Superimpose. Absolute last in the early stages, the widest horse on the home turn, carrying the top weight on a track that didn't suit him, he produced a performance that only a champion could.
Into the straight, Wong is just the leader over last year's winner, Marimbula Bay. Shaftesbury Avenue third, and then Spot the Rock and Comrade, who made the bend very wide, followed on the fence by Groucho, and then Our Krona, followed by Happy Sailing, Our Poverty Bay as they top the rise, where Shaftesbury Avenue shot clear. Look at Our Grey Invader. Our Grey Invader coming from near last has run into second place, is coming after Shaftesbury Avenue, and Superimpose is jumping out of the ground. Superimpose is rapidly overhauling Shaftesbury Avenue. Shaftesbury Avenue still in front. Superimpose wide out, lunged and got up to win the Doncaster. He's come from near last. Superimpose beat Shaftesbury Avenue. Third, Our Grey Invader, who...
Superimpose's victory was a triumph for his trainer Lee Friedman, who 6 months ago quineled the Melbourne Cup with Terrific and Superimpose, and Lee was absolutely rapt after this victory.
He's a fantastic horse. I said to my wife before the race, I said, everything's against him. I said, if he could win this, no horse has deserved it more. And forget the money. The money's not important. The horse deserved to win. He'd been beaten in so many good races. He'd run second to Vogue countless times. And finally we put him in a big handicap. He's never won over a mile in his life. He's never won on a track as soft as this, and yet on the day he's pulled out the effort. It's just a sensational bit of racing for me,
Your reaction, obviously, is as thrilled to match your Melbourne Cup win with Terrific and the Quinella.
Every bit.
The Adrian Knox Stakes for 3-year-old fillies is a good guide to the AJC Oaks, and Jewel Treasures, who'd been a maiden before yesterday, put in a sustained run in the straight to win running away, and now must be a big chance on Wednesday.
As they come over the rise, Sovereign Heights just led Hysterical. His Jewel Treasures on the outside, exploded to the front at the 200 mark. She left them standing and she's burst away now. Jewel Treasures quickly put 3 lengths on Hysterical. Aretha is running on well. This filly came from a long way back, but he knew what he was doing, and Jewel Treasures wins easily over Hysterical. Third, Aretha. Fourth,
the Chairman's Handicap is also a good guide to the Sydney Cup, and King Aussie led practically all the way. He ran right away from his opposition in the straight, and he now must be a danger to Sedestin in Saturday's $600,000 Cup.
King Aussie straightens up well clear. In fact, he got away from them turning the corner. He's about 4 in front of Reasoning, followed by Go Pack, and Shallier coming home well. A gap then to Palace Revolt, but King Aussie is a mile in front of the 200 mark. Led by 4 lengths on Shallier, making little headway. Wider out as Go Pack, but King Aussie has run them off their feet. He's well clear 100 metres out. Shallier and Go Pack making no headway, and King Aussie is going further ahead in the last bit and wins the Chairman's Handicap in a breeze. King Aussie by 7 lengths to Shallier. Third, Go Pack. Fourth, Palace Revolt.
I don't think it's any coincidence that Jim Cassidy rode the Derby winner yesterday, and the week before Shane Dye rode the winner of the Golden Slipper. They dominated racing here in the spring in Melbourne, and they're dominating it in Sydney during the Autumn Carnival. Two great jockeys. The carnival continues at Randwick tomorrow with 3 Group 1 events. The Sires for 2-year-olds, the Galaxy for the fastest horses, and the Weight for Age Queen Elizabeth. On Wednesday, it's the Oaks, and then next Saturday, the $600,000 Sydney Cup. Well, in Melbourne yesterday at Caulfield, most interest centred around the $50,000 Victoria Handicap, and the race attracted its usual strong lineup. Jockey Brian Werner doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but he's very capable. Yesterday he rode a double. He made the most of a lucky break to gain the ride on Prince Omenium.
Prince Omenium in the brown with the white spots and the pink sleeves was ridden by Brian Werner, and it was one of his best performances. The horse made a lot of ground before the home turn, getting through on the inside, and then when Pressman's Choice was checked for a run in the straight, Prince Omenium took advantage of the situation.
Calgaran Town in front from Rare Chance second, a length into Black Blaze, and they're followed by Above Deck coming around the outside with Isle. Further back then Dwani. Pressman's Choice has got out wide looking for a run. They straighten up and Rare Chance goes up to Calgaran Town down to the 300-metre mark. Black Blaze running out of room on the fence and Above Deck further out from Prince Omenium. And here's Isle starting to sprint down the outside. Calgaran Town in front. Grabbed by Rare Chance. Prince Omenium and Isle out in the middle. Prince Omenium swept to the front now and Prince Omenium's drawing away. Prince Omenium's going to win the Victoria Handicap about 2 lengths. Rare Chance second and Pressman's Choice got up to run third from Isle. Then...
Well, tomorrow at Caulfield, the feature is the Group 3 Easter Cup. And there were 2 races worth more than $1 million at Randwick yesterday, as we've already shown you. But at Oakbank in South Australia, there was a race meeting that commanded almost as much respect. They only race at Oakbank twice a year, on Easter Saturday and Easter Monday. And it's considered the biggest picnic meeting in the world. But the highlight of this meeting is not flat racing, it's a spectacle that attracts the nation's best jumpers.
Oakbank, a colourful setting 50 kilometres east of Adelaide in the hills. It's a family occasion that attracts all walks and in big numbers. 40,000 yesterday, expect 70,000 for the Great Eastern Steeplechase on Monday. Saturday's card featured 3 races over the famous jumps, 2 divisions of the Trial Hurdle and the Von Duser Steeplechase. In the first hurdle, the Victorian stole the prize in the form of Hobick. Until this race, a maiden following 22 starts.
And 8 lengths away, Seas Command. Here's the last or second last. Hobick's over it nicely. 3 in front of Vinciamo. Well back in the field, Royal Cardo. The favourites won't run a place, I don't think. Over the last one, and he throws this leader over at Hobick. It jumps it well, 2 in front. In second placing, Vinciamo. Then 10 lengths away to Royal Cardo, getting very tired, but Hobick is down.
Colin Hayes had prepared Seas Command for the first division, and despite being a heavily backed favourite, he found it too tough. But you can't keep CS down. Come the second division, and again Hayes provided the favourite, this time historically, and he ran accordingly.
Well, but Golden Ninja comes to the second last, a length and a half in front. Historically makes a determined bid. Hold Tight gave ground. Lady Tolhurst went to third. Southern Mystery goes to it now. But it's now historically taking the last jump, and he takes it over. Goes to the lead. Southern Mystery nearly down. Hold Tight fell. Hold Tight had a heavy fall, unfortunately. And now it's historically going to the line to win it and win well.
But the main event on day one is the Von Duser Steeple, a field of 20 assembled at the start, with Victorian trainers providing 11 runners, and the visitors snared the trifecta.
He's got going again, Benalong Point, and with great speed on the flat, he's shot away. 4 to Curl of Success, whose rider is getting very anxious. 8 to Believe, 4 to I'm a Gambler, who nearly sold out. Then Wolver Action and Comic Cardo's a mile back. They've got 1 more fence to jump. They've cleared the double. Into the straight, Benalong Point, 3.5 to Curl of Success. 7 lengths Believe, 8 lengths I'm a Gambler, 10 lengths Wolver Action, and 15 lengths to Comicado. 1 fence to go. Benalong Point might have stolen this. He has. He's kicked away, Benalong Point. He's going great guns. With 200 to run, he's 4 in front. Believe and Curl of Success will fight out the minors, with Believe finishing on. But Benalong Point is going to be too good. A bold exhibition. Benalong Point has won the West End Von Duser by 4.5 to Believe.
So Oakbank day one is over for another year, but as they say, the best is yet to come, and Monday's Great Eastern will again offer South Australia's once-a-year racegoers an event full of thrills and spills. Andrew Kay reporting for Sports World.
Yes, I think very fondly of Oakbank. That's where I first started in the media. I can't remember how many years ago, but I called some races behind the hill there. It's a great day, and if you've never been there, it's really worth the trip. Interestingly, the Grand National Steeplechase was run last weekend in England. It's a world-famous event at Liverpool and Aintree. 67,000 people. They got 90,000 people to the 3 days of the Grand National. In Adelaide, population of about 1 million people, they get 115,000 to the 2 days of the Oakbank Carnival. It really is a phenomenon, or whatever. We'll take a break and be back with Bill Morty after this.